Hello, and welcome into the Spiritual Nude. We are going to be doing an Aries reading today. All my readings are timeless, so I'm not going to date this reading. But kind of my recording schedule is going to be I'll record all the readings in a week, and then I'll release them in a week. So all will come out, all 12 Zodiac recordings will come out in a week. And then I'll do the next one the next month. So they'll come out monthly. But I also have the Wednesday live stream that'll be kind of like a birthday Zodiac reading for all the signs. And so I picked like the birthday kind of theme. I do have like a birthday spread, birthday Zodiac spread. If it's not your birthday during that month, it's, you can really look at it as like, what are you birthing into the world, right? What is your creative spark that you're tending to? All of that said, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. I would really, really appreciate that. And let's just get started. We're going to try to take a deep dive into the Aries Zodiac. And I am going to do all the cardinal signs first. Cardinal signs are initiators. They are the first signs of I'm trying to light my sage here. They're the first signs of basically each quarter of the year, starting with Aries. So Aries is going to kick us off here. I just want to cleanse the energy a little bit. And I want to set the intention that we are looking for the energies that are in our highest and best good for Aries. No negative energies are allowed in this reading. No trickster energies. These are, the intention is to only be speaking to energies of the highest vibration. So I wrote some questions down here, and this format will be the same for all of the readings. We're going to look at the overall energy. We're going to look at the obstacle. We're going to look at how you are embracing the energy of your sign, how you are resisting the energy of your sign, the advice at this time from Spirit, hidden things that you may not be aware of, and the outcome of the reading. And I am going to layer the reading, meaning I'm going to use two tarot decks, and I'll put, I'm going to be using the Lightseer's tarot for this reading, and I'm also going to use the Zodiac Tarot, and I'll lay the Zodiac on top of the Lightseer's, and we're going to start off with an oracle reading also. So let's get started. I have quite a few decks that I'm going to be using today, and I will be referring back to my little sheet there where I took some notes. Oh, I wanted to start off talking about the energy of Aries in general as a sign. Aries traits, the positive traits are, Aries are assertive, they're energetic, they're courageous, they are innovators, they're leaders, and they're confident. And the shadow side of the Aries energy is prideful, self-centered, impulsive, bossy, stubborn, reckless, and competitive. So think about where you are embodying both the positive side of the Aries trait and the negative and the shadow side of the Aries traits. And also I wanted to say that we all have all signs in our chart, all 12 zodiac signs, and so you may find that at certain times, your sun sign, you may not like resonate to that. Check out some of the other readings, because for instance, if you have a lot of family issues going on in your life right now, your fourth house sign may be more prevalent. Or if your in a relationship, having relationship issues or whatever, your 7th house sign may be more prevalent. If you're not interested in knowing all of your signs through all the houses, that's perfectly fine. Knowing your big 3 signs, your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign are important. I would also say your Venus sign. And if you don't know any of that stuff, just stick to your sun sign. That's perfectly fine. So let's get a little oracle reading to start this reading. I'm really going to try to deep dive into this sign. So sit back, relax, get comfortable, and let's look at what's going on. So we have, we have Vesta Hearth. And this card also kind of reminds me of the 4 of Wands. We have Neptune. This is like higher knowledge and wisdom and philosophy, right? So hearth, on it, obviously reminds me of like a living room hearth, and like it's really kind of like the centerpiece of the living room, the heart, right? The heart of the household. It's where you have your fireplace, and it brings warmth into the household. So the vision here with communication, exploration, higher knowledge, I feel like you're someone who may be exploring your own personal philosophy, right? Like learning how to communicate like your beliefs and what you want for your own household, like what you want. It's like we have this hearth and we have like things sitting on the hearth, like things that mean something to us, things that matter to us, right? It's the heart of our household. I'm hearing like the heartbeat, right? So I feel like you're really trying to get in touch with the things that really keep your engine running, so to speak. Like keep your heart pulsing, like keep your and you're really trying to communicate that to, I'm hearing like really to yourself. But also the third house is talking about like, siblings, short trips, people that you have, this could like cousins and stuff like that. So, you may be feeling like within your kind of circle of people, you may be starting to have these ideas, these visions about what you really stand for, like what keeps your heart beating, what you want to be the centerpiece of your life, right? So let's look at, I'm going to pull some from another astrological oracle. Too many cards. Let me get 4 cards, please. Let's see, this one, this one, this one. So 6 cards came out when I was shuffling. So we're going to kind of go through these. So the first thing that's jumping out to me is that you got Cardinal, which Aries is a cardinal sign. This is you're an initiator. So like maybe in your circle of influence, your circle of friends, your maybe not your close, I feel like more friends, like, because like the third house is really about like relationship. Okay, so the third house can be about like extended family, your siblings and stuff like that. The fourth house is really more about like your family, the family you created in, you know, in the world. So yeah, there's something about instigation, bravery, and a pioneering spirit. You may be really introducing certain ideas into a collective of people that is new, that is like expansive, right? Like you have a vision for certain things. And you also got yang, which is fire energy. It's masculine energy. So proactivity, expansion, doing in forward motion. Yeah, I feel like you're like initiating this new way of thinking, you know, into your community of people that you're surrounded by. Uranus, you have Uranus, which is radical change, right? And then you also have Gemini, which is curiosity, intellect, and networking. And I was talking about the ninth house, right? Wait, hold on, let me not get carried away. So you have Uranus, which is about radical change. So you are like introducing something different to your group of people that you're involved with, right? And that you have influence over. I feel like you may be a respected member of this group. Yeah, I get the energy that you are a respected member of the group. I was really thinking about that. Maybe we should look at that. But I wanted to say, so you have ninth house, which I said was like higher education and philosophy. And then you also have Gemini, which Gemini is kind of a student. You know, Gemini is about intellect, you know, like learning things. Networking. Yeah, we were talking about community. So this might be even related to like a work situation. Like you may be a person at work who's kind of like leading the charge of like a new way of seeing things or a new way of doing things. You also have Yin energy and Cancer. These are two receptive energies. Where did I put it? Oh, Yin. Yeah, here we go. I grabbed the wrong card. So you have Yin energy, which is this feminine energy. This is receptive energy. And this is how like the intuition comes into you. I feel like there's something that you're doing and there's something that you're a part of where you're really kind of channeling this like divine knowledge that's a little on the pioneering edge almost. Like and you're kind of leading this, right? And with the masculine energy, you're taking that, like, you're that divinely channeled energy, and you're moving forward with it. You're taking action on it. And then we have Cancer. Cancer, nurture, comfort, and protection. So Cancer is a water sign. Cancer is, again, this is like receptive energy. This is nurturing energy. Cancer is a very emotional sign. So you may be very passionate about what it is you're doing and the direction you're trying to like go in, the direction you're trying to lead people in. And then you have protection here too. And I feel like your ideas are protected because you are these are ideas that are being channeled in, like divinely channeled in, right? So it's like you may be here. That may be your purpose here, is to really like get people to see things in a different way, or like in your small area of the world. It could be small, it could be big, right? But your area of the world, I feel like with Hearth, it kind of is like your small area of the world. You're bringing in these new ideas and leading the charge, right? Um, let's pull another oracle card. This is Wild Things Oracle, I think. Yeah, the Wild Wisdom of the Wild Things Oracle. So we're gonna pull a card to kind of see the overall energy of the reading. Navigate with flow. Navigate with flow. So yeah, you're moving in a way that, like I said, is like divinely inspired. Like you're channeling this divine energy, whether you're aware of it or not. Is you have these ideas that are kind of like out of the box. I feel like they're like I said, they're pioneering, and you're going with the flow of this divine energy coming in for you. Because like with the Yang card, you're receiving it, you're receptive to it, right? So I'm going to put these cards away, and then we will get into your tarot. And because you're kind of like pioneering something, you may not always feel super, like you are protected, but you may not feel always super supported, right? Because it's new ideas, it's out of the box, it's things that people aren't necessarily like, you may come up with an idea for something and people are kind of like, what do you mean we should go in this direction, right? So, okay, we looked at the overall energy. I also want to pull a tarot card for your overall energy. I'm just going to pull a tarot card from the Rider-Waite to see what your overall energy is. Okay, 2 cards came out for you. You have awakening. You're definitely like, you are having this internal awakening, and I feel like you're trying to share that with the people around you. And it doesn't have to be like a consciously like spiritual awakening. It can just be like, it is spiritual though. Like it is spiritual. What you're doing is spiritual, whether you're aware of it or not. You're giving. You're giving to the community around you. And the way you're giving to the community around you is divinely inspired. Love to see it. I love the Judgment card. You're the Awakening card. Okay, so let's see. So let's see what your obstacle is. We're going to go in with the Lightseer's Tarot. By the way, when I pulled the cards for your overall energy, you had the devil reversed at the back of the deck. So whatever you're doing, there's some kind of devil energy, meaning an energy that's kind of pervasive in your life. And maybe I'll pull some cards to kind of get a little more clear on that. But what you're doing is reverting, you're changing the direction of this energy. You're spearheading this effort to move it in a different direction. Okay, we had quite a few cards come out. I really only needed 3. So I think I'm just going to choose 3. So you have 7 of Wands reverse and the Sun. So you're doing things in a completely different way, right? Like there's certain things that people would say, like, don't do that way. You should have boundaries around that thing. And you're like, no, because this is going to lead me to success. This is where we're going to see success. It's not by doing it the old way. Because the old way was a burden. With the 7, you have 7 of Wands reversed again. No, wait, is this? I'm sorry. This is 6 of Wands. Yeah, see, okay. 6 of Wands reversed, and then you have the 10 of Wands. So, people didn't recognize that the old way was a burden. The old way made it actually more difficult to succeed in the way that everyone in the community is wanting to succeed. And you see a different way. Like, you have the vision. It's like that one oracle card that came out. You have the vision that, no, I know we've done it this way forever, but that's not the way that's really going to bring us the success that we're looking for. And then you also have Strength card reversed. Oh, no, 3 of Swords reversed. And the Tower. Doing it the old way caused a lot of heartache for you. And it was through that heartache that gave you the awakening to see that there's another way to go about this. A way that's easier and a way that's going to lead us to the success in life that we're looking for. I want to kind of get clarity on what this devil energy is. With that devil energy. You also have the Page of Wands. I keep forgetting to talk about the cards at the back of the deck. So we're talking about the obstacle here. We also have the Page of Wands at the back of the energy. And the Page of Wands is really about learning about how to go forward with this inspired action. And the action, and see, this is the obstacle, because you want to go forward and do things differently, and people are saying, no, you're not supposed to do it that way. They're not recognizing that the way that it's always been done is a burden. Can I get some clarity on this double energy, please? So you have the High Priestess, and you have 7 of Pentacles reversed. And then you have 10 of Cups at the back of the deck. I think this might have to do with family. There's things that have built up in your family for a very long time. This may be generational karma. A certain way that things were done for a very long time. Seven of Pentacles is all about like working and kind of sitting back. You're building something and you're sitting back and looking at what you've built up, what you've accomplished. And it's in reverse here. And so it's like you're sitting back and looking at what's been accomplished. You're looking back at what's been accomplished in a way that's like, yeah, but this isn't what we really want. Like, I know this is the way it's always been done. And I think this has to do with family, with 10 of Cups at the back of the deck. Let's pull this card out. So this is the Devil energy. I wish I would have pulled that card out. So the next question is, how are you embracing the energy of the Aries sign? How are you embracing it, the energy of initiation and, you know, leadership? How are you embracing that energy? You got Judgment again. Let me also pull some Zodiac Tarot. You have 7 of Cups. You have 6 of Swords. You're moving on from confusion. Like, I think that there's been a history of, like, people just kind of going with the flow. I think this is a family unit. It's a history of people going with the flow and not really totally being aware of why there's chaos. Like, what the confusion is. And so the way you're embracing this Aries energy is that you're seeing it. You're recognizing it. You've had an awakening to it. And you have the Hermit card. So you've had an awakening to it, and you've also sat back and really thought about it and how to change it, how to change its dynamic. You're a cycle breaker. Then you also have the Ace of Cups reverse and the Queen of Pentacles reverse. So there's something here about this may be about your relationship with your mother. You have Queen of Cups reversed. You have Queen of, so you have Queen of Cups reversed with the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So the Queen of Cups reversed, this Queen of Cups, has, you know, their emotional state has not manifested. They have not been able to manifest the life or the experience that you really want, right? And you're kind of like, you may have spent a lot of time really confused about that. Like, why do I feel this way? Why does my family feel this way? Or whatever. And you're starting to kind of realize where this energy, where within your family this energy is coming from. And again, it could be a family unit. It could be a friendship group. For some of you, it is going to be about family, though. I am strongly getting that energy. But you also have Ace of Cups reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, because the Queen of Pentacles is reversed. This is why I feel like there's some kind of issue with a mother figure here, because you have Queen of Pentacles reversed and you have Queen of Cups reversed. And so it's like, these are both like feminine energies, feminine archetypes. You know, the Queen of Pentacles reversed is really ruling over the manifested world. And you have Ace of Pentacles reversed. So it's like what's being manifested isn't what you want. There's a lack of fulfillment, a lot of lack of happiness. And you also have Two of Cups reversed. So this is about a relationship that's rocky. That's not that great, right? And then you have Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is rushing in with positive emotion. You're really trying to infuse love into this situation that's kind of dark. You know, we have, Two of Cups reversed. We have the Queen of Cups reversed. We have the Ace of Cups reversed. There's a lot of reversals of like it's on the negative spectrum of emotion, a negative emotional experience, right? And you're trying to change that. You're trying to come in, trying to rush in with this positive emotion. And when people are in a vibration, especially like a whole unit of people are in a vibration that's like negative, it's hard for them to accept this positive energy rushing in, right? Because it's misaligned with where they are, right? They have to adjust to that, right? And it's up to them whether they adjust to that. They can either choose to adjust to it or they can choose not to. So we have, where are we at? So this is how you're embracing the energy. I really think the Nine of Cups really answers that question, is that you're seeing what's going on and the way you're embracing the energy of the Aries sign. Aries is an initiator. Aries is taking the divine information that they're receiving and moving forward with it. So you're coming in with this different viewpoint, this viewpoint that's more centered in so So that's how you're embracing your Aries sign. Okay, let's look at how are you resisting the energy of the Aries sign. So you have Ace of Cups. So before, okay, there's a lot of cards upright that were reversed in the last question I asked. So how are you resisting it? The energy of initiation. You have Ace of Cups. You have the Magician reverse. And you had Ace of Cups reversed in the last one. There may be like a strong desire just to detach from the situation and not be like the trailblazer, like the not really take action to kind of like change this karmic cycle. There may be, you know, like you're feeling, I think you're feeling pretty good. Like I think you've changed your mindset to where you're in a more loving space. You know, like this in this card, this woman is cradling this cup of like love from directly from her heart space. And it's almost like and then you have the Magician reverse, right? And the Magician is actively manipulating energy around him or her. And so it's almost like you don't, I feel like you have times where you kind of like want to detach and not be the initiator. Just kind of like sit in your own good feelings. Like you feel good. You've detached from that energy and it feels good, right? And it's kind of like you just want to sit in that energy. Let other people do them, right? And then you have the Queen of Cups upright. You had it reversed in the last one. So again, like you're nurturing this loving, creative energy within yourself. And I think that there's times where you don't necessarily like want to act with the Queen of Wands reverse. You have the Queen of Wands reverse. So it's like you don't necessarily like want to act on what you know, right? Like I think you are as much as you can, but I think that there's times where you're just like, let me do me over here. I feel pretty good. I feel pretty peaceful. Let me do me over here and let them do them over there. But I feel like there's like a pull within you because you're an Aries, right? There's a pull within you to take that action, even though you may not always want to. It's like the shadow energies of Aries. They were talking about stubbornness. Where's my pad? They were talking about prideful, self-centered, impulsive, bossy, stubborn, reckless, competitive. And you might be a little bit bossy sometimes when it comes to this because you feel that you know that there's a better way, right? And so you may get impatient at times. And then also you may get a little self-centered at times because it's like I feel these good feelings and I'm not necessarily trying to share it, right? So the shadow aspects of Aries may come out at certain times. And then you have Four of Pentacles. Yeah, Four of Pentacles is like, it's a little bit of a stubborn energy. Like you're holding on to what you have. Like look at how he's clutching those pentacles. Like you've manifested these good feelings for yourself and you've really changed the direction of this situation. It's like you kind of, I feel like at times you kind of just want to hold on to those feelings and just say, they're doing what they're doing over there. But Aries is also very loyal. See, that's the thing. Aries is a loyal, the positive attributes: assertive, energetic, courageous, initiators, leaders, confident. And also, I read while I was writing this down that they're loyal, right? So I always have to refresh my memory. So, and you also have the Hermit reverse. So it's like when you go into hermit mode and you're learning these things, you're higher learning philosophy, you're learning all of these things that are very beneficial to changing the energy of the situation. I feel like there's times where you just want to kind of like stay in that place and keep that information to yourself, right? Like, and it's not necessarily because you don't care. It's not that. It's just that, like, this is a devil energy. This is an energy that really is stubborn. The energy of the devil energy that you're kind of like trying to combat, it's very stubborn. And so it can feel at times like an uphill battle to climb. And the page of wands, that was at the back of the deck when we were talking about the obstacle, I think. But in terms of how you're resisting this Aries energy, is that you're like, I feel like you are learning how to divinely move forward and you're building strength from that. But it's like with the other cards, I think that there's times where you want to kind of keep that to yourself. And there may be times where you kind of have to keep that to yourself, because when you have certain energies that you're combating, you don't always want to be like, you do want to have boundaries, right? You want to, just like with the card, the oracle that came out that said protection, you want to protect yourself. You want to protect your energy. And sometimes getting involved in things that are going on with them over there, it's like there can be a worry and a concern about like entangling your own energy into that. So while you're learning how to move forward and build strength, other people aren't necessarily picking up on that. And I think that there's times where you just kind of feel like, fine, like I'll keep what I know to myself. I know that it's beneficial. I know that it's making my life better. I know that I feel better. But hey, I'll keep it to myself, right? I'll build strength on my own. And then the last one is Seven of Cups reverse. This is clarity. And then Six of Pentacles reverse. Yeah, Six of Pentacles reverse is like, I don't want to share. You know? I don't want to share. Like, I have this clarity, but I don't always want to share it. Or you might feel like they're not in a place where they can understand it. But it is your job in this lifetime, in this dynamic that you're in, to be the cycle breaker. So it's like you really kind of are expected to find a way. And it may involve having time. There may be times where you just kind of have to sit back and watch what's going on. Like, because other people have to go through what they have to go through. And you can't always, like, insert yourself into situations, right? So it's like you're kind of, it's like the yin and the yang. You got the yin and the yang with the oracle card. So there's this yin and yang energy of like, okay, there's times when I need to be proactive and assertive and take my divinely inspired action. And there's times where I need to sit back and be receptive and just kind of watch the energy of what's going on and do me. And so you're having to kind of balance these two energies, this yin and yang. What is the next question? We have, so what is the advice from Spirit? Let's look at what the advice from Spirit is, and then we're going to look at like hidden things in the outcome. The advice from Spirit, like things you may not realize is going on. The advice from Spirit is Five of Swords reversed. Don't get involved in the conflict. Let me layer these cards real quick. Yeah, there's conflict. You have Seven of Swords at the back of the deck. So there is, Seven of Swords is about lying and thieving, dishonesty, right? Hidden things. Were we asking about hidden things? No, this is about advice. So there are hidden things, though. And you have Ace of Wands reversed at the back of the Lightseer's deck. So it's like you don't always have to take action on the dishonesty that you see happening in this situation. You don't always have to take action on that. Sometimes you need to just let the chips fall where they may, which I think you know already. And I think you are doing that. So let's layer these cards. We have, do that, and then we'll do, I don't know if I want to read, I'm not going to read these. I'm sorry, it's too many. It's too many. Oops. So we have, Five of Swords reversed. This is about coming out of, conflict. There's I feel like there's things happening all the time. And you have Ace of Swords reversed. Because people aren't always listening to their intuition, their divine guidance. And I feel like when you find yourself in the middle of this conflict, it's because you weren't listening to your divine guidance. You had Ace of Swords reversed, and now you have Ace of Swords upright. So this is advice, right? Stay out of the chaos and conflict, because when you don't listen to the divine guidance, you end up in these situations, right? That don't have to happen, because the Five of Swords is kind of an energy of someone picking a fight that's kind of unnecessary. And there's two people that they drop their swords and walk away because they're kind of like, why am I fighting you? Like, why? This is not necessary, right? So the advice from Spirit is that when you don't listen to your intuition, you end up in this conflict and chaos that you don't need to be in. You can come out of that by listening to your inner guidance. And you have Nine of Cups reversed. Listen to your inner guidance. And even if you're in a situation where you really want to act on something and your inner guidance is saying like, no, it's not the time for that, you may feel an emotional response. Like you may feel like you really want to step in and take care of a situation, but you have to understand that when things happen like that, when chaos is ensuing, the energy has already built up to that, because energy builds, right? When we don't take care of it and we don't nip it in the bud, the energy continues to build. So if you're at the point where this kind of conflict is going on, like it's best to not act on that. And it's best just to like really pay attention to like how you're feeling about it. Like the negative emotions that may be coming in, like the ways in which you may be getting triggered, right? It's more healing and more important to really focus on that energy than to focus on an energy of having to be the fixer of the situation. Learn to discern when you need to step in and when you need to just kind of sit back and like do your own inner work and figure out what's really going on inside of you. So what are the hidden things? What are people lying about? I want to know what people are lying about, because I'm nosy. What are the hidden things? See, they're falling on the floor. And I think that's significant. It's like, hold on a second. Okay, hold on. Let me layer this. You know, the Empress reversed at the back of the deck. Which, remember, I said that this might be, there might be a mother energy here. Something about the mother, and mother energy is coming out again. Okay, so hidden things. We have Two of Wands reverse and Ace of Cups. Things not going according to plan is a blessing. Like when, okay, so when you sit back and you kind of watch the situation unfold and things aren't, I'm looking at the time, sorry. Things aren't happening the way, like, you know, certain people who are still sitting in a certain energy, when things aren't happening the way they want it to, that's a blessing for them. Like, that's the universe trying to tell them, hey, you know, you need to pay attention to things that are going on in your life, right? Because things aren't going to according to plan for you. And it can show up as like, I can't keep a job. I can't, I can't, like, no matter how hard I try, I can't raise my income. I can't keep a relationship. I can't, like, the plans that people are making, they're just not working out. And that is a blessing, right? So when you see that happening around you, just be aware that that's the energy trying to work itself out, right? Like, that is, you know, like when people don't listen to like divinely inspired advice, the universe is going to try to send these messages in any way it can. And when there's a lot of chaos going on, sometimes that is a message to that person that, okay, you need to wake up to something. I need you to, like, learn this truth here. And then I love it when this happens. This is why I like layering readings. You have 10 of Wands reverse doubled up. So understanding that when things not going according to plan around you, it is not only a blessing, but unburden yourself. Like, twice the energy of that, right? It's like really unburden yourself. Don't feel like you have to step in and fix it, right? Just let people sit in the energy that they're in and let them figure out on their own. Because when you save people from certain situations, you're not helping them to, like, grow. You're not helping them to learn from that situation and become better, right? So you don't need to take those burdens on. Those aren't your burdens, right? Those are other people's burdens. And that's a hidden thing. You may not be aware of that. You may not be aware of that. You may feel like when things happen, you have to step in. It's my job to step in, right? But Spirit is saying, like, no, you don't always have to step in that way. You also have King of Swords and Seven of Cups reversed. So there's a clarity that you have. You're the King of Swords, right? You're this masculine energy, Aries, fire, Aries energy. You're action oriented, and you also, sorry, I'm getting excited. You also have this truth, right? You own this truth. You're the ruler of this truth, and you can take action. It's like you can decide. You have truth and you have clarity, and you can decide if and when you're going to take action on that. And you may not always feel like you have that ability. It's a hidden thing. You may feel at times, even though you have this little corner of the world where you feel very peaceful and safe, right? Because you've had these awakenings and you have this knowledge and you have this corner of the world, your hearth, your place in the world where it feels safe. You you may at times feel like, okay, am I being selfish sitting in this energy when I see all this stuff going on around me? Should I act? Right? Like, what should I do? Right? And I think that you have clarity about the situation, but I don't think that you always have 100% clarity on when you should step in and act and when you should just sit back, right? And be an observer of the situation. I don't know why I did this. But when should you be an observer of the situation? When should you act, right? You have Four of Wands reversed, and I talked about the Four of Wands earlier with I think it was like the Neptune card. So Four of Wands reversed is about, it's almost like I'm hearing blessing in disguise. Things may happen. It's like Four of Wands is about like foundation, so the number four is really about foundation and structure. And you also have these four wands, which kind of are reminiscent of the number 1111. So yeah, like when the structure and the foundation is crumbling, don't be alarmed, because it's a blessing in disguise, and it's like creating an opening for a new beginning. A new beginning, and you have Ace of Pentacles. It's creating an opening for something positive to manifest in the situation. And you have Four of Cups reverse and Page of Pentacles. Four of Cups reversed and Page of Pentacles. So Page of Pentacles is grounded, right? And you have Four of Cups reversed. So what's hidden? Well, the hopefulness. You may feel very discouraged overall. Like you may feel like this situation is never going to turn around. And it's like there is hope that the situation will turn around, and that you or others in the situation, but probably you, because you're the initiator, you're Aries, that you will be able to manifest something better in this situation. There is a hopefulness for that, right? And I think that's a little hidden to you. Did we do the outcome? Let's do the outcome and then we'll wrap this reading up. So I'm looking at the Navigate with Flow card, and this is the like overall energy of the reading. And it really is, right? It's like know when to act and when to sit back and be receptive of what's going on and just observe. Like go with the flow of that. Learn to discern when you need to act and when you need to just sit back, right? So yeah, navigate with flow. And I know I wanted to say too that when I said that this could be about a mother, it doesn't necessarily have to be a mother. It can be any feminine energy, right? But it's a nurturing feminine energy. And feminine energy doesn't always have to be a woman either, right? It's the person, I think in this context, it's the person who was supposed to be the nurturer of certain things in your life, in your family. Who did you look up to in that nurturing role? You know, or who did you want to be in that nurturing role? So the outcome here, you have the Hermit. There's going to be more going within. Ace of Pentacles. You have King of Cups reversed at the back of the deck. So you had the Magician reverse earlier in the reading, and you have the Magician upright here at the back of the deck. So you're going to know how to navigate the situation better. You have Queen of Pentacles reverse. This came up earlier in the reading too. So this is the person we're talking about in this reading, right? This nurturing, this person that was like the nurturer of like the physical world, right? The physical manifested world. So you're gonna specifically know how to navigate this person, right? But I do think you have Ace of Pentacles reverse. I don't think that things are going to, not in the near future, turn out the way you want it to. And it doesn't mean stop trying, right? But it just means, again, be very like aware of and discerning of when you need to act on something and when you just need to like sit back and let it all play out, because I don't think things are going to start manifesting in a positive way right away, right? So you have to, like, four of Pentacles again, you have to really like hold your coins close to your chest, right? And be discerning about when you need to do that and when you can take a more active leadership, assertive role, right? You also have the Moon and the Hermit. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of deep diving, a lot of inner work still to do, right? A lot of spending time in the subconscious, right? And really trying to work on yourself. You know, the more you work on yourself, the more because you're energetically connected to this group of people that we're talking about, right? So the more you work on yourself, the more energetically you're working on them as well. You're I can't think of the word I was looking for. But you're doing work. As you do work on yourself, you're doing work on these other people. And that's part of being the magician as well, right? Is that I know that energy is not confined to time or space. So as I do the inner work, inner healing, I'm also healing these other people in the situation. So the last card for the outcome, you have King of Cups reverse, and you have Six of Pentacles. Don't overgive. Don't overgive to the situation, because I think that it's only going to cause like heartache for you, right? Just let, again, be very discerning about when it's time to take action in this situation and when it's like time to just sit back and observe the energy. So this is all I have for you, Aries. I hope you could resonate with this. I think we went pretty deep into this reading. So if you like this reading, please give me a like, give me a share, and give me a subscribe, please. I could use that. All the subscribers I could use. I could use all the subscribers I could. So thanks for coming into this Spiritual Noob. I really appreciate you being here and supporting my work. Until next time, bye.